Hey, what's up? I'm Cody. I'm the head of developer and product support at Fetty, and I've been running the AI for All hackathon. I'm going to go over how to do the final submissions for your project. And so hopefully at this point, you've got your project registered on Bolt.fun. So if you go to your profile, then you should have like a project registered. And so what we're going to do to register this for that finals for the hackathon, for the actual submission, is that we're going to go to AI for All on bolt.fun/tournaments/AI for all/overview. We're going to click projects, add project, select the project, and then say what track it's for. All right. And so this one I think is probably closest to privacy. Sweet. So now my project has been updated. Then you're going to want to write an update probably for it of just say like, hey, this is my final one. And then if you could like maybe put your just let us know if there's any help that you need for so we can follow up with you and just make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and for the judging. So making sure that your readmes are clean, making sure that your repls look good, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to really quickly jump on over here and show you how to make a really, really high quality REPL for the judges and to make it easier and better for the judges when they're reviewing your projects, right? So I go to my project and I click on it. And then I go view project details, edit project. So now it's been registered and it's like part of the hackathon. It will be included in the submissions, right? Now I just got to make sure that it looks clean. It looks awesome for the judges. And so I go through here. I make sure that everything's gone over there. The links, I'm linking to a GitHub repo so that the judges, if they want to run it on their local machines, they can. And also just kind of so we can look at the Git history and all that. The other thing that we've got here is a link for you to put your REPL, right? And so I highly, 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 highly recommend that you put a Replit link inside of here. And the reason why is because Replit is a reproducible code environment that runs in the browser. And so if you can get your code working in a REPL, then when the judges fork your code or when they see your code, you know for a fact they're going to be able to run it as you intended, right? They're not going to run into an issue where they try to run your code or they try to run your demo and it doesn't work on their machine or something like that. If you can get it to run on Replit, you can get it to run anywhere. So we're going to walk through that. So I go to here and I take my Matador. That's my Matador GitHub. And then I go to replit.com. I click create REPL, put the link in. Import from GitHub, of course. Post the link. And you notice that Replit just automatically looked for and found what the major language was, right? That I was using in the REPL. And so if you're using like an Next.js project or a Rust project or whatever, right? Like it'll detect the language and it'll configure the REPL for you. If it doesn't, then just hit blank REPL for it. So I do import from GitHub. So this is configuring the REPL for me. Cool. And so now I have a workspace, right? And so just like a normal code editor and stuff. And so the things that I would really recommend that you do when you make this REPL, right? There's two things that I'd really recommend you do. One of them is making a .tutorial folder with your markdown inside of it. And the other one is embedding your video into the actual REPL, right? And so we're going to see what that looks like. So when I make a new folder and I call it .tutorial, that's going to make this tutorial tool, right? And I found this super useful. So this is normally meant for like teachers if they want to make lesson plans and stuff like this, but it's useful for just making markdown and making it nicely formatted and making it really presentable to the judges inside of the editor, right? And so I'm going to take my README over here. And so now instead of just showing them a README file when they go run my code and stuff, I can make a copy of that into this .tutorial. And now if I refresh the tutorial pane, notice that we have this really nicely formatted and nicely good looking README right here, right? And so you can do stuff like you can put videos in it, you can put images in it, you can do all sorts of anything that's supported by Markdown, you can do inside of this, right? And then what you can also do is you can make multiple, right? And so you could do like README 2. And I could take this and put this inside of the .tutorial folder, which if I can just get this file tree to work properly, will work. Okay, I'll just move it by hand. The readme dot 2.v to tutorial. There we go. Cool. So now if I go in this readme.md, I do like the first one can be like, you know, AI for all hackathon submission. Right. And I'll do that as like H3, and I call it like Matador, a Bitcoin powered pass through. Low, right? So now if I go open up the tutorial, sorry about that. Right, so now I've got the first page, which is this README 2, and then a table of contents that flips to the second page. And so if you want to make like a very, very nicely formatted tutorial walkthrough of your project, like this is a really cool and powerful tool to do it that makes it very easily digestible for the judges when they're looking at your project, right? So you can do that if you want. And then the last thing I'd recommend is that you embed your demo into the actual editor. And so that'll allow you to, as you're doing the demo, the judges can kind of follow along in your code as they're watching you, right? So how do we do that? Is that in this .tutorial folder, we're going to make another file and we're going to call it video.json. And then inside of here, we're going to put a single thing that says embed URL. And then we're going to post the embed link to a YouTube video, right? And that YouTube video should be the one that's you doing your demo, okay? And so now, let me just make sure that we spell it correctly. It should be called video.json. Right? So now notice that we've got this nice handy video that pops up over here. And this video is going to be your demo, right? And so now it's just like a super, super, super nice, easy way for the judges. They can be watching your demo while they look at your code and see the markdown walkthrough for it, right? And so if you go over here and you hit run on your code, right? So it's actually building. I'm actually going to have to set a secret. So if you need to set any environment variables, then you just set them in the secrets tab. So this is like outline address. I need to set that. There. And so then it's building. And if you have any trouble at all getting it to work in the REPL, like I'm going to be opening my Calendly of just book 30 minutes with me. I will get it up to stuff. I will get it up working because I really think this is a good way for putting your best foot forward and making it easy as possible for the judges to review your projects. Right. So here we go. I think it's actually done here, but I'll just stop it. That's a refresh. Yeah. Oh. It's okay though. One sec. Yep, sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm back, right? So I'm running the project in here, and now I've got like a nice little web view. So it shows my demo inside of here, and I can open it up in a new tab, and this is publicly accessible. And so another thing that I'm offering is that anybody who wants to, I'm happy to work with you to make this work, is that if you have a front end for your application, then I will make it run on Replit with you. And then I can take that and I can embed it as a Fedi mod inside of Fedi. And so people can not only just look at your project through through the desktop. But if you wanted to have a WebLN enabled mobile version, I can work with you to make that available through Fedi, and it takes like 20 minutes tops, right? It's super easy. So just let me know. So that's about it. So I just got it all running, right? And so now I would just go over here. And then as part of the submission, I would put my Replit link, right, under the Replit thing there. And then I'd also recommend that you put it in the description. Okay, so just like Replit link, just to make it easy as possible. All right, over here, I save my changes. Oh, sorry. Exceeded the character limit. So I save my project. Changes are saved. Should refresh the page. And we're good to go. Sweet. Cool. All right, so that's how you do your project submissions. So now when I go to bolt.fun AI for all, I should see a project registered under AI for all. Yeah, so this is my submission over here, right? And once we cut off submissions, then we're going to be contacting every single person on this list, and we're just going to make sure that, hey, you got all your code pushed, you got everything updated, like everyone's good to go. Okay, cool, awesome, thanks, and I really look forward to seeing all your submissions.